What's up, guys? Dylan here, and I want to just introduce myself to the channel. And basically, on this channel, I will be going over pretty much everyday updates on the altcoin market, Bitcoin, you know, institutional money coming in, ETFs, anything like that. You must find the content in this channel. And basically, I will be doing, looking for setups, looking for potential trades that we potentially can take within the day. And I will be looking at mainly just altcoins on this channel. And then we'll also go into the TMT side of things throughout the video. I'll probably do it twice a week where I'll show you guys how to track your trades. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So first of all, there you can see by the thumbnail there might have been a potential fake out, right? And what does that mean? Well, yesterday we saw price, pump, Bitcoin hit 76K, right? And we were wondering why. And a lot of people were trying to buy the top, taking profits, and then eventually, you can see how people got stopped out. So a lot of liquidations waking up this morning, and I want to speak about what potential trades that we're going to take throughout the day. So you can see a lot of red. Obviously, there's always going to be exceptions in the market, but mainly just red, right? So what I like to do is when I wake up, I like to just go into the total 3 charts and see what's happening. And you're gonna when you watch this channel, you're gonna hear and you're gonna see that I speak about total 3 and USDT dominance a lot, and I will explain why, right? And I think it's super important to look at these metrics because it shows you that total 3 market cap. It shows you the market cap for altcoins excluding Bitcoin and ETH, right? So when we see price go up and break key levels, there's a good chance there might be like a breakout, right? And the reason why I'm saying fake out is because price could not break above the 722 billion level, which was that this where everyone's speaking about this breakdown over here. But staying below 722 is a key zone, and you can see how price grabbed liquidity and then ended up just reversing back down, right? So there's a high chance that we can still come down here for total 3, right? Because staying below this level here and staying below this trend is quite weak for the altcoin market. Okay, so something to note is that you can see on the 4-hour time frame we're still getting rejected. So for me right now, there's not much we can do, and it's still very choppy, right? Staying in this range for altcoins, super hard to get set up. So you can only really take some scalp trades, which is my specialty, and eventually you'll start to learn how I trade on this channel, and when we track the trades, and I can show you some results and all of that. But this is going to be the first video, so I want to just give you an overview of what I'm thinking for the current market, right? So once we start breaking above here, I do think that we can see more bullish momentum, but staying below this level here is not a good sign for the market, right? Then what I like to do is once I've gone through that and see overall direction, I like to go through USDT dominance, and I like to look at the lower time frames. So like the 1 hour here, you can see on the 1 hour time frame, price is still, you can see how bearish it is, bearish, right? For USDT dominance, which is a good thing in terms of the bulls, right? Because we did break structure to the downside. We broke this previous low over here, which is something to look at, and we're coming into this order block right over here. We've tapped it. So what I'm actually waiting for the bulls, I'm actually waiting for price to actually close below this trend, and then looking for potential longs for the market, right? So if we close below this level here on the 1 hour time frame today, then I'm looking at potential longs for the current Bitcoin and altcoin market. So USDT dominance kind of just trading into key level right now. So for me right now, nothing is really valid, right? So I want to see price close below this level here, and then we can look at continuation to the upside for some tokens. Okay, the one trade that we did take today, I did take a trade today, and it was a BNB short. We broke below this trend, and we took profit at these lows, and then we actually went break even at this point. It's always good to protect your capital, right? I'm not going to go over BNB now, but something to note. The one token that I want you guys to look at is XRP. We did get a nice 4-hour breakout yesterday, but still trading above this trend. The one thing to note that wasn't a good sign is not closing above this level over here is not a good sign for XRP. I wanted to see price change structure and break above this high. You can see how we made a double top at this level. So if we zoom in here, we made a double top at that level, and you want to see price actually start closing above those zones for continuation. So staying below this level over here is showing us that this could have been a fake out, and we might see price roll back down to these lower levels. Staying cautious, right? we do have to stay cautious with the total three looking like this. But once we see USDT dominance start to roll over here, this will give us some outlook and potentially look at some longs for the day. Okay, super important to watch these metrics when you're trading. It's definitely something that I do. Okay, another setup I was looking at is a WorldCoin short. We did break this trend over here. I'm looking for downside continuation. I want to see price break this low at 0.2928 before I look for continuation. But these are the current levels I'm looking at. We did actually break this previous low over here, so there's a good chance that we come down a little bit lower. So we shall see what happens for WorldCoin. But for me now personally, I want to see price break below this low before continuation. So it's a bit of a waiting game right now. I'm just currently just waiting to see what happens. Then we look at Ethereum. With ETH today, we spoke about it yesterday, right? We were saying that there was a lot of liquidity at 2,403. We tapped that level and we had a nice reaction of that zone. A lot of people were looking at that double top. Slash, there was also bearish divergence, but I don't really trade the RSI. But looking at the market right now, if you look at the lower time frames, there is a potential breakout looming here for have a look over here, right? If you look at Ethereum, we have a potential move that we can look at a trade. If we look at the 15, it looks pretty clean, holding this low over here, showing that price potentially wants to get a breakout here. So I'm looking at this trade here for Ethereum. If we were to break above the zone, then I'm looking at potential longs back up to 2354. This would be a nice little setup that I'm looking at for the day, right? And also if USDT dominance actually breaks this low that we're speaking about in the previous sentence. I was speaking about how I want to see USDT dominance, break this level here. And then we look for a bullish continuation for Ethereum, right? I'm only going to really take this trade if we get that for USDT dominance. So there's a good chance that ETH can get a move to the upside here. So I will be waiting for a potential trade off this level here to see if we can get a push. So there's a couple of things that we need to go over, right? Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin had a massive pump, and that's also due to the dominance just absolutely ripping, right? Rising super hard off these levels. We got a nice little pump yesterday for USDT dominance. For Bitcoin dominance, which is why the altcoins took a little bit more of a hit, and Bitcoin actually, Bitcoin is pumping super hard. Altcoins didn't really follow, right? And then it ended up when Bitcoin dumped off that level, that 76K level, all the altcoins took a hit because of the dominance rising, right? So for me right now for Bitcoin, there's a good chance that, a lot of people are looking at this as like a head and shoulders pattern or something like that. But, if Bitcoin were to break above 74,400, then I'd be looking for continuation. But right now, we did actually break structure to the downside. So I'm scared, I wouldn't really look at a long for Bitcoin right now. I'm only really looking at longs for Ethereum. We'll see what happens off this level. But yeah, just a quick little update on the market, guys. I hope you understand what we're looking at. I'm just super cautious with longs on most alts just because of total 3 looking pretty not that pretty on the daily time frame. Today, if we do get a nice little daily close above the zone, then I'm looking at continuation. It doesn't mean that we can't take scalp trades, but it's just for confirmation that we're going to continue going higher. It's good to look at these metrics. So hope you guys all have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the video tomorrow.